have been made from time to time to overcome deficiencies of cement concrete. The recent developments in the material and construction technology have led to significant changes resulting in improved performance, wider and more economical use. Research work is going on in various concrete research laboratories to get improvement in the performance of concrete. Attempts are being made for improvements in the following areas. Number one, mechanical properties like compressive strength, tensile strength, impact resistance. Number two, durability in terms of increased chemical and freezing resistance. Number three, impermeability, thermal insulation, abrasion, skid resistance, etc. Now, my dear friends, before getting into the study of different kinds of special concrete that are in use, now let us have a little bit idea of what are the different types of cement that are available. Number one, ordinary Portland cement, that we call it as OPC. Number two, Portland Pozzolana cement, PPC. Number three, rapid hardening cement, RHC. Number four, extra rapid hardening cement. Number five, low heat cement. Number six, sulfate resisting cement. Number seven, quick setting cement. And the last but not the least is blast furnace slag cement. So these are the different kinds of cement that are available, and according to the usage, it depends upon the environmental condition and depends upon the what type of construction activities that you are going to be involved. Suppose tomorrow you are engaged in some construction activity. The first and foremost thing is you have to understand what is the environmental condition, whether it is a mild environmental condition, moderate, severe, very severe, or extreme environmental condition. All these details are being clearly described in IS 456 and even in IRC 112. So if you have a better and a very good idea about the environmental condition where the structure that you are going to propose, suppose if you are going to involve in a design of a residential building, suppose if you are going to involve in a design of a steel structure, suppose if you are going to involve in a design of a bridge, so whatever may be the type of structure that you are going to be involved, first and foremost thing is you have to understand under which category of environmental condition this site is coming. And number two, whether it is coming under the seismic zone 2, 3, 4. Then next, what type of wind force is acting. So you have to study the winds map also about your site condition. Whenever you are involved in the design of tall buildings, wind force has to be taken into account. Got it, my friends? Now, this slide describes about the different types of concrete, special concretes. Number one, polymer concrete, then sulfur infiltrated concrete, fiber reinforced concrete, we call it as shortly FRC, then high strength concrete, HSC, HPC means high performance concrete, vacuum concrete, or in short form we call it as VC, then self compacting concrete, SCC, then geopolymer concrete, in short form we call it as GC, then reactive powder concrete or RPC, then concrete made with industrial waste. So these are the different types of special concretes that we are going to discuss in today's journey. My dear friends, whenever we deal with the special concrete, there are two terms that which we have to first understand the importance of these two terms. One is admixture and other one is binders. Now, before getting into deep of the different kinds of special concrete, let us have an idea about what is admixture. Admixtures are added to concrete batch immediately before or during mixing of concrete. Concrete admixtures can improve concrete quality, manageability, acceleration, or retardation of setting time. And also admixtures confer certain beneficial effect to concrete, including frost resistance, sulfate resistance, controlled setting and hardening, improved workability, increased strength, etc. My dear friends, the chemical admixtures. These are the chemical type admixtures of chemical material. So chemical admixtures are the ingredients in concrete other than Portland cement, water and aggregate that are added to the mix immediately before or during mixing. Even you can experiment in your laboratory by casting a small cubes, or when you do a 2-point load or 3-point load testing of beam in your concrete lab, you can try this. So producers use admixtures primarily to reduce the cost of concrete construction, to modify the properties of hardened concrete, to ensure the quality of concrete during mixing, transporting, placing, and curing, and to overcome certain emergencies during concrete operations. Successful use of admixtures depends on the use of appropriate methods of batching and concreting. Most admixtures are supplied in ready-to-use liquid form. Sometimes you can see they used to add the chemical admixtures which are available in the liquid form, either in the batching plant or when the RMC truck comes to site. Before they're injecting for the concrete from the RMC truck, the drum, they used to mix the admixtures. Or sometimes the admixtures may be added in the mid form during the supply of, but those type of activities has to be strictly avoided. Either it has to be added before mixing concrete or during the mixing concrete, not after coming to the site. That will have an impact to the strength and durability parameter of the concrete. Probably it may increase the workability, but it will have an impact towards the strength parameter. Certain admixtures such as pigments, expansive agents, and pumping aids are used only in extremely small amounts and are usually batched by hand from pre-measured containers. My dear friends, the effectiveness of admixture depends on several factors, including type and amount of cement, water content, mixing time, slump, and temperature of the concrete and air. Sometimes effects similar to those achieved through the addition of admixtures can be achieved by altering the concrete mixture, reducing the water cement ratio, adding additional cement, using a different type of cement, or changing the aggregate and aggregate gradation. So whenever you are involved in the activity of adding the admixtures, you have to follow the principles and the procedures correctly. Your focus should not only with reference to the term workability, your focus should also to be with reference to the strength also. My dear friends, the admixtures are classified according to the function. It has 5 functions. One is, there are 5 distinct classes of chemical admixtures with reference to 5 functions. One is air entrapping, water reducing, retarding, accelerating, and plasticizers, or we call it as super plasticizers. Now we will see a little bit about this 5. Water reducing admixtures. My dear friends, water reducing admixtures usually reduce the required water content for a concrete mixture by about 5 to 10%. Whereas retarding admixtures, which slow the setting rate of concrete, are used to counteract the accelerating effect of hot weather on concrete setting. High temperatures often cause an increased rate of hardening, which makes placing and finishing difficult. So this type of retarders keep concrete workable during placement and delay the initial set of concrete. Most retarders also function as water reducers and may entertain or and may contain some air in concrete. The next one, third type, is accelerating admixtures. These admixtures increase the rate of early strength development, reduce the time required for proper curing and protection, and speed up the start of finishing operations. Accelerating admixtures are especially useful for modifying the properties of concrete in cold weather. So according to the site condition, you should be in a comfortable position to use what type of admixtures, chemical admixtures. The next comes, suppose if you get an opportunity of a job to work in the quality control lab of RMC, any RMC plant, then you should have the basic idea of the admixtures. The next comes the super plasticizers, are also known as plasticizers or high range water reducers, that is HRWR. HRWR means high range water reducers. They reduce water content by 12 to 30% and can be added to concrete with a low to normal slump and water cement ratio to make high slump flowing concrete. Flowing concrete is highly fluid but workable concrete that can be placed with little or no vibration or compaction. And finally, corrosion inhibiting admixtures. They fall into the specialty admixture category and are used to slow corrosion of reinforcement steel in concrete. Corrosion inhibitors can be used as a defensive strategy for concrete structures such as marine facilities, highway bridges, and parking garages that will be exposed to high concentration of chloride. My dear friends, other specialty admixtures include shrinkage reducing admixtures, alkali silica reactive inhibitors. The shrinkage reducers are used to control drying shrinkage and minimize cracking, while alkali silica reactivity inhibitors, that is ASR inhibitors, control durability problems associated with alkali silica reactivity. With this few small introduction about the inhibitors, we will move on to the next, working with concrete. My dear friends, concrete is easy to work with, versatile, durable, and economical. But you should have a standard operating procedures when you deal with the concrete. When you deal with the air entering concrete, it contains billions of microscopic air cells per cubic foot. These air pockets relieve internal pressure on the concrete. My dear friends, if you see any retaining wall, there will be some holes, drilled holes at 1 meter center to center, both horizontally and vertically. The purpose of these holes is to release the hydrostatic pressure. My dear friends, the retaining wall are designed against the earth pressure. Whereas when it is exposed, when the earth is exposed during monsoon, the rainwater will penetrate inside, deep inside the earth, filled earth behind the retaining RCC retaining wall. And this, it will percolate down and it will get stagnated at the bottom. And this will create a static pressure that we call it as hydro water stagnant. Static means stagnant, water stagnant pressure. And for this pressure, we will not be designing this. We will be focusing on designing for earth pressure. So this additional pressure has to be released. How it can be released? By introducing some holes that we call it as weep hole. So through this introduction of these holes, this water will be drained out. And moreover, when the water is getting drained out, it will wash away with the filled up soil particle also. So to avoid the washing of soil particles, a geotextile material will be wrapped or pasted over the whole area so that this geotextile material will prevent the passage of the soil particles and it will allow only the water. In addition to this geotextile, they also used to fill with coarse aggregate. They call it as a filter media. These air pockets relieve internal pressure on the concrete by providing tiny chambers for water to expand into when it freezes. This air-entrained concrete is producing using air-entrained Portland cement or by the introduction of air-entraining agents under careful engineering supervision as a concrete is mixed on the job. The amount of entrained air is usually between 4 and 7% of volume of concrete, but may be varied as required by special conditions. Friends, I tried my best to picturize the air pockets, a closer microscopic view of that concrete. Now, when it comes to the placing and finishing of concrete, my friends, mixing, transporting, and handling of concrete should be carefully coordinated with placing and finishing operations. Whenever you involve in doing a project in concreting, preparation of concrete in the lab, the mixing, transporting, and handling should be carefully coordinated with placing and finishing operations. Concrete should not be deposited more rapidly than it can be spread, stuck off, consolidated, and bull floated, and deposited continuously as near possible to its final position. My dear friends, in slab construction, placing should be started along the perimeter at one end of the work with each batch placed against previously dispatched concrete. Do not dump the concrete in separate piles and then level and work them together, nor it should be deposited in large piles and move horizontally into final position. My dear friends, the focus should not be completing of concreting of a beam or slab. Your focusing should have how effectively you are placing the concrete, prepared concrete. How effectively you are preparing the concrete, mixing the cement, sand, aggregates, and water cement ratio. And if you want to add any admixtures, then to suitably prepare the concrete effectively, meeting the strength parameter and workability, and also the placing should also be very effective, and also it plays a vital role in achieving the strength. And because if you're not if you're only focusing on completing the activity, forgetting about the strength, then it may lead to the initial failures or like formation of cracks. Then consolidation. In some types of construction, concrete is placed in forms and then consolidated. Consolidation compacts fresh concrete to mold it within the forms and around embedded items, and reinforcement to eliminate stone packets, honeycombs, and entrapped air. My dear friends, why we are requested to do vibration? In your laboratory, you may be using, when you're casting cube, you will be using some 8 mm diameter bar and you used to tap it for every layer. But when you go with a little bit of a higher size, you used to go with needle vibrator. So vibration either internal or even sometimes you go with a shuttering vibrator. So vibration either internal or external is most widely used method for consolidating concrete. When concrete is vibrated, the internal friction between the aggregate particles is temporarily destroyed and the concrete behaves like a liquid. It settles in the forms. In the forms means in the shuttering form. Under the action of gravity, and the large entrapped air voids rise more easily to the surface. The next comes finishing. Concrete that will be visible, such as driveways, highways, or patios, often needs finishing. Slabs can be finished in many ways, depending on the intended service use. Options include various colors and textures such as exposed aggregate or a patterned stamped surface. Some surfaces may require only strike off and screeding to proper contour and elevation, while for other surfaces, a broomed, floated, or troweled finish may be specified. Now we'll move on to the next, the working safety. When you're dealing with the concrete work, the safety is very, very important. All safety precautions, you have to use safety boards. I don't know whether you are following when you go to a lab, you have been asked by your lab in charge to come with the shoes, and when you're using the mixing of concrete, you please start practicing using wearing gloves, then glass, helmet. Start practicing the safety aspect at your work area from the lab. When you start practicing this, you will be feeling easy and you will be following all the safety precautioning measures during your work in your work area when you come to the job. And you also insist your workers under your supervision to follow strictly, and you will enforce the safety measures. Now we will see a small video about shotcrete. There are two terms, shotcrete or ganiti. Sir, audio is you are able to hear the audio, no sir? Video is audio.
No, sir. Audio. No, sir. We can't able to.
Now, sir,
Light.
1 second.
Audio is too low, sir.
Now,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Ah, okay, sir. Perfect.
Welcome back, friends, to this new video of tower protection. Here we will discuss about slope stabilization by shotcrete method. Shotcrete, gunite or sprayed concrete is a self-trapping mortar or concrete sprayed onto a surface with high air velocity. The purpose of using the shotcrete in slope stabilization are due to fast setting, vertical and horizontal hold in thick layers with reduced rebound ratio, increased cohesion property, durability. Now let us explore how shotcrete works are made step by step. At first, thoroughly clean all surfaces by removing loose materials and dust to avoid any collapse in future. Then fix wire mesh to the rock surface. The top portion of the wire mesh should rest
This
on a stable
video
surface where
is
suitable
explaining
fixing
about
pins or grate are
shotcreting
to be
of
inserted.
over a rock
Grate are
cut
to be done in
to
slope
prevent the
portion to
rock
keep the mesh
sliding.
in proper position
So
and to
rocks
ensure that the mesh
will
is
be
not
having a
disturbed
numerous
during concrete spray.
cracks. So by using a shotcrete method, those cracks will be arrested so that during the monsoon time, this rain, the water is the greatest enemy for the landsliding as well as the rock sliding. Okay, so this when the water falls, when these cracks are arrested, so the water, even when the water drains on the surface, it will avoid the rock sliding or will be minimized or avoided.
Procure the concrete from batching plant in the mix ratio of 1:1:1. Micro silica can also be added to achieve additional strength to concrete. Pour these mix into pump hose. Ensure to lubricate the hose pipe before starting the pump. When the pump concrete mixture reaches the nozzle, turn on the compressor for air. This will help spraying the concrete onto the surface with high
Friends,
velocity.
when you are involved in a shotcrete, you are going to apply the concrete at a high pressure, and if required, you can use some fiber also in the concrete mix. It may be of steel fiber, it may be of carbon fiber, it may be of glass fiber, so that the strength parameter will be enhanced.
Apply shotcrete evenly to targeted surfaces.
And moreover, the
Build up the
thickness
desired thickness of
also,
shotcrete approximately 10 to 15
if you are going for a 40 mm thickness,
voids are
the
found,
wastage
further
will be
spray the
more.
concrete. Once the earlier sprayed concrete has
However,
attained strength,
you will get, by using this type of methodology, you will get a well defined, a well bonded output. Okay, so we'll move on to the next. Friends, before getting into the polymer concrete, let us also see what is a binder. A binder or a binding agent is any material or substance that holds or draws other materials together to form a cohesive whole mechanically, chemically by adhesion or cohesion. Natural cement is a hydraulic binder with rapid setting due to the protection of calcium aluminate hydrates. As a binder, natural cement has a high compressive strength compared to lime mortar, but is still water vapor permeable. So before getting into this, hello? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll just try to show one more video related to polymer concrete. Okay. Just a moment. I'm just stopping my presenting. I'll just take that video also. Please. Just a second. See, my aim of delivering through videos and visual is to make this at the students level to understand more easily. So when you go out and when you attend a interview in a ready mix concrete plant, quality control office or design office, this videos and photographics discussion will help you to answer and to show to the interviewer that you are adequately filled with the basic ideas or basic knowledge, and you are skilled. You are coming out of the institute with the skill of knowing all the various aspects that has been widely practiced in the industry. My dear friends, when you come out of your institute, you should be skilled enough to deal with the industrial expectation. Industry is looking of a skilled engineers. So that's my aim, is to make you to feel more comfortable with the subject. Okay.
Polymer.
Yeah, I will share my screen. Hope my screen is visible. Let us see a visual explanation of polymer concrete.
Concrete is a type of concrete that use polymers either as a supplement or replacement for cement binders. In normal concrete, when the water dries out, it leaves pores. These pores become the entry of various liquids or gases, thereby damaging the concrete. The presence of pores also reduces the strength of concrete. To overcome these problems, polymer concretes are being developed. Polymer concretes are relatively made of high-performance materials which consist of well-graded aggregates bonded together by a strong resin binder instead of cement, either partly or fully to form a required matrix. The polymer concretes are low permeable concrete and are corrosive resistant, thus it is being used in swimming pools, sewer structure applications, drainage channels, etc. It is especially used for construction and rehabilitation of manholes in sewer systems. Polymers concrete has high tensile strength than plain cement concrete. The polymer concrete is prepared in different ways, namely, normal polymer concrete, polymer modified concrete, polymer impregnated concrete, and partially impregnated and surface coated polymer concrete. We will see this one by
Fine. I hope now, friends, you might have understood some idea about what is polymer concrete. So it is a concrete, it is a part of group of concrete that use polymers to supplement or replace cement as a binder. So now we have seen what is a binder. Now it composed using PC, polymer concrete, polymer modified concrete, polymer impregnated concrete. That means when the cement concrete is treated by soaking and polymerization. And polymer modified concrete means when the polymer is mixed along with the cement. Polymer concrete, when the binder is a polymer that replaces the cement paste. Now, what are the advantages of polymer concrete? It has a high impact resistance, high compressive strength. It is highly resistant to freezing and thawing, highly resistant to chemical attack and abrasion, and permeability is lower than other conventional concrete. Now, we will see about vacuum concreting. Next, we will shift on to vacuum concreting. Vacuum concrete, it is the type of concrete in which the excess water is removed for improving concrete strength. The water is removed by use of vacuum mats connected to a pump. That is a pictorial representation which I have shown in the top of this slide. This technique is applicable in industrial floors, parking lots, and deck slabs of bridges and etc. The magnitude of applied vacuum is usually about 0.08 MPa, and the water content is reduced by up to 20 to 25%. This reduction is effective up to a depth of about 100 to 150 mm only. We always try to restrict the water cement ratio in order to achieve higher strength. Friends, chemical reaction of cement with water requires a water cement ratio of less than 0.38. Friends, please make a note of it. The chemical reaction of cement with water requires a water cement ratio of less than 0.38, whereas the adapted water cement ratio is much more than that, mainly because of the requirement of workability. So workability is also important for concrete. So it can be placed in the formwork easily without honeycombs. After the requirement of workability is over, the excess water will eventually evaporate, leaving capillary pores in the concrete. These pores result into high permeability and less strength in the concrete. Therefore, workability and high strength don't go together, as the requirements are contradictory to each other. However, with the technique of vacuum concrete, both this are possible, that is workability and high strength at the same time. So that is a graphical representation of the vacuum concrete and the ordinary concrete. The dotted line shows the lower layer and the continuous line shows the upper layer. And with reference to the number of days, the compressive strength has been mapped. Now we will move on to the next. Sulfur infiltrated concrete. Sulfur infiltrated concrete. My dear friend, this sulfur infiltrated concrete developed techniques of impregnating sulfur in porous materials like concrete has produced a whole new type of composite which is known as sulfur infiltrated concrete. That in short form we call it as SIC. This SIC is great improvement, add value addition in terms of strength than conventional concrete. This SIC had a value addition in terms of resistance to corrosion, water permeability, and rapid hardening. This SIC add value addition in terms of modulus of elasticity, durability, and resistance to repeated cycles of freezing and thawing. And it can be increased significantly by impregnating sulfur in Portland cement concrete. So all this can be achieved, the improvements, the benefits can be achieved by impregnating sulfur in Portland cement concrete. That's why it is called as sulfur infiltrated concrete. It can be used in precast industry, fencing post, sewer pipes, railway sleepers, irrigation canal, and etc. The technique to produce SIC, sulfur infiltrated concrete, is very simple, inexpensive, and effective. The impregnation of hardened dry specimens of Portland cement concrete with melted elemental sulfur increases the compressive strength by a factor of 2.7. The compressive strength of sulfur impregnated concrete with 8.4% sulfur by weight is 174 meganewton per square meter, that is 25,300 pounds per square inch. Sulfur infiltrated concrete is an economical alternative to polymer impregnated concrete. Okay, my dear friends? You can try this type of experiments as your project in your laboratory. Next comes the self-consolidating or compacting concrete, that is SCC in short form. It flows and consolidates on its own because it is a flowable concrete. It was developed in Japan in the year 1980. Increased amount of fine material, that is fly ash or limestone filler, than superplasticizers that we have discussed earlier also. The strength and durability are same as conventional concrete. Because it is of extreme fluidity, no need vibrators to compact the concrete as how you do practice in terms of normal concrete. Conventional concrete use tapping 8 mm rod in the lab while you casting the cube. You can try the casting of cubes by using this SCC, self-consolidating or compacting concrete, and no need of any needle vibrator or shuttering vibrator. Because of its extreme fluidity, it flows under gravity and it consolidates on its own. Then placement is being easier because of its very easy, it is a fluid, and no bleed water or aggregate segregation. My dear friends, I have tried my best to put the picturized representation of the percentage of aggregates in comparison with regular mix and self-consolidating concrete. In terms of cement, 10% for regular mix, whereas it is also as 10%. Water 18, then air 2%, fine aggregates, fines it is 8%, then the aggregates 26%, coarse aggregate 36%, whereas for regular mix it is 45%. Next comes your reactive powder concrete, RPC. It is composed of very fine powders, cement, sand, quartz, powder, and silica fume. Steel fibers, that is, fibers are optional and super plasticizer also. A very dense matrix is achieved by optimizing the granular packing of the dry fine powders. This compactness gives RPC, that is reactive powder concrete, ultra high strength and durability. This RPC have compressive strength ranging from 200 MPa, that is 200 Newton per m square, to 800 MPa or Newton per square meter. The properties of RPC are high strength and very low porosity. The properties are achieved by using maximum particle size less than or equal to 300 micron, optimized particle packing, low water content, steel fibers, that is an optional, then heat treatment. I tried to bring the pictorial representation of RPC concrete. This left-hand side of this slide describes about the raw material: cement, sand, silica quartz, silica fume, microfibers, mineral fibers, super plasticizer, and water. And the right-hand side table shows the mechanical properties in comparison to with the 80 megapascal normal concrete. The properties comparison is with reference to compression strength, flexural strength, tensile strength, modulus of elasticity, fracture toughness, pre-center, carbonation, and abrasion. Now the typical mix under the water cement ratio of 0.2 for the RPC, in terms of percentage cement, 28 to 30%, 9 to 10% silica fume, 8.5 to 9% crushed quartz, 42 to 43% sand, 7 to 6% of fibers, and 0.6% of super plasticizer, 5.5 to 6% of total water. There are no aggregate in this mix. This slide describes about the principles involved in developing the RPC. Elimination of coarse aggregate, that's what we have seen in this slide also. Then optimal usage of super plastic to reduce water cement ratio and improve workability. Application of pressure to improve compaction. Addition of small size steel fibers to improve ductility. Now next comes the high strength concrete. That word high strength, that means in terms of its compressive strength. This slide describes about the load bearing strength of regular concrete with reference to the load bearing strength of high strength concrete. It is about 2 times higher than the conventional concrete or normal concrete. My dear friends, high strength concrete with reference to compressive strength, it is being classified as between 50 to 100 megapascals. It's of high strength concrete. 100 to 150 megapascals, it is classified as ultra strength concrete. When it is greater than when you are able to achieve more than 150 megapascal, you name it as E special strength concrete. The placing and consolidation and curing. Delays in delivery and placing must be eliminated. Slump generally varies from 180 to 220 mm. The aggregate size for high strength concrete HSC is 10 mm to 20 mm. And it also requires 7 days moist curing. This slide describes about the ingredients: cement, sand, water, optimized sized aggregates, admixtures. Under admixtures, you can use silica fume, water reducing agents, that is super plasticizers. The dosage rate will vary from 5% to 20% or higher by mass of cementing material. Next comes the HPC. We have discussed about high strength HSC. Now we are going to deal with HPC, high performance concrete. US Federal Highway Administration has revised the definition of HPC for highway structures. HPC is a concrete that has been designed to be more durable and, if necessary, stronger than conventional concrete. So when you are dealing with HPC, the importance is with reference to its performance based, that is durability based. So there are 4 types of HPC. One is with reference to very early strength 14 Newton per mm square, 14 megapascal in 6 hours, high early strength 34 megapascals in 24 hours, very high strength 69 megapascals in 28 days, high early strength with fiber reinforcement. Now the right hand side of this slide describes about the characteristics of high performance concrete. High early strength, high modulus of elasticity, high abrasion resistance, resistance to chemical attack, low permeability and diffusion. It is also high resistance to adverse climatic conditions. Suppose if you are engaged in activity of in northern parts where the temperature will be very high as well as very low. So in such cases, you can prefer this high performance concrete. Now next comes, before we discuss about the concrete from the industrial waste, let us see also about geopolymer concrete. See, it is a type of concrete that is made by reacting aluminate with silicate bearing materials with a caustic activator. Commonly, waste materials such as fly ash or slag from iron and metal production are used, which helps lead to a cleaner environment. During my first session, one of your classmate or friend has asked about the usage of the alternative materials. So here, when we deal with the geopolymer, you will be using the slag from the iron ore industries or fly ash, an addition or a replacement to the cement. It has a low heat of hydration in comparison with cement concrete. Fire resistance is considerably better than ordinary Portland concrete cement, that is OPC. It offers better, that is geopolymer concrete offers better protection to reinforcement from corrosion as compared to traditional cement concrete. Geopolymer concrete gives better resistance to sulfate attack than normal concrete. So that's a brief about geopolymer concrete. Now let us come to the concrete from industry. My dear friends, this may be used as a binder material, as partial replacement of conventional Portland cement, or directly as aggregates in their natural or processed states. So a concrete that made using agro waste or urban waste and industrial waste, that may be classified under the concrete made from waste material. This may be used as a binder material, as a partial replacement of conventional Portland cement, or directly as aggregates in the natural or processed state. Even some of you are maybe doing the project from using this type of waste, industrial wastage or urban waste or agro waste. You can try all these things to understand the benefits, and you can transfer initially in a small form of developments, and you can compare the results with the conventional concrete and show it as adding more beneficial to the environmental as well as to the structure strength and in terms of durability also. See, when it comes to the coal ash from power station, its proportion is generally limited to 30% in situation where early strength is important. So the red mud aggregates from industrial waste. It is a byproduct of resulting from the production of aluminum from bauxite by Bayer's process is known as red mud. Concrete made with this aggregate have more compressive, tensile, flexure strength than gravel. The next right-hand side shows about the silica fume concrete. It is a byproduct of the reduction of high purity quartz with coal in electric arc furnaces in the production of ferrosilicon metal. It is efficient pozzolanic material. It is suitable for high water cement ratio about 0.55 and higher. 1 kg of silica fume can replace 3 to 4 kg of cement in concrete without changing the compressive strength of aggregates. Ultra high strength concrete, that is 80 to 125 megapascal, is now possible for field placeable concrete with silica fume additive. Now next comes the fiber reinforced concrete. It is defined as composite material consisting of mixture of cement, aggregate, and uniformly dispersed fibers. The fiber is a small piece of reinforcing material possessing certain characteristics properties. The fiber is often described by a convenient parameter called aspect ratio. Aspect ratio is the ratio of its length to its diameter. The typical aspect ratio ranges from 30 to 150. So the right hand side of this slide describes about the types of fiber that generally used in the construction industries. Steel fiber, polypropylene fiber, GFRC glass fiber, asbestos fibers, carbon fibers, organic fibers, and even the natural fibers like coir fiber, cotton fiber, sisal fiber, jute fiber, and wool fiber are also generally used in the preparation of fiber reinforced concrete, or in short form we call it as FRC. The bottom of this slide, left hand side, describes about the factors affecting the properties. Size of coarse aggregate, mixing, orientation of fibers, aspect ratio of the fiber, volume of the fibers. Now, what is the necessity of FRC? It increases the tensile strength of concrete, reduces air voids and water voids, increases durability of the concrete, substantially improves its static and dynamic properties. Fibers such as graphite and glass have an excellent resistance to creep, and it also acts as a crack arrestor. You have seen in the shotcrete, the concrete is being pumped at a high pressure over the object where you want to go for shotcreting. So when you mix this fiber concrete, it will add value to it, not only in the strength, and also it acts as a crack arrestor. That's why generally in terms of rock cutting, to avoid the rock sliding, generally outer layer they will put a blanket, a geomaterial or geotextile, or mesh, wire mesh, galvanized wire mesh. Why you use to galvanize wire mesh? To overcome the corrosion effect, and over that they will go with a fiber reinforced concrete shotcrete. That means if the fiber may be of steel fiber, but you have to avoid using steel fiber when the environmental is subjected to have high corrosion. So you can go for other types of fibers like carbon fiber, glass fiber, or polypropylene. My dear friends, polypropylene is a beautiful fiber that we have experienced that usage in developing over the bridge deck slab. So when you use polypropylene fiber concrete, the density of the concrete is getting reduced from 2. Can anyone say what is the concrete density now? Value? Can anyone participate, my dear friend? Can anyone? Friends? What is the weight of the concrete?
Sir, someone said in the chat box, sir. Praveen Kumar.
Yes. Yes, sir.
He posted RCC 25 megapascal, sir.
Yes. That means,
PCC 24.
yeah, that means 2.5 tons per square millimeter. Correct.
Yes.
So when we use the polypropylene fiber into the concrete mix from 2.5 tons, it reduces to 1.6 to 1.7. You can easily achieve. But when you reduce the unit weight of concrete, the strength you cannot achieve. So by adding this polypropylene concrete, we experimented and we are able to achieve M30 grade concrete, 30 Newton per square meter. By using polypropylene fiber concrete, we have reduced the self weight of the concrete from 2.5 tons to 1.6, and also we are able to achieve the strength of M30 grade. And we have used over the deck slab as a wearing surface, and so it has given a very good result. It avoids the shrinkage crack, temperature crack, and also it reduces the self weight of the deck slab. So with this few details of variety of the special concretes, you can try any one of this at your laboratory and you can taste the benefits and how differ from a conventional concrete. And wherever you come across in real time, if you have developed the basic knowledge or basic details of this different variety of special concrete, definitely you can able to play a important role in the industry. So with this, we have come to an today's session or today's journey under special concrete. So once again, I just bringing to your kind attention, since we are living in this pandemic period, please follow all health protocols given by the government of India and the government of state, the Tamil Nadu state government, and always wear mask when you go public. Don't play with your health. Always say vanakkam or namaste to your friends or relatives. Avoid shaking of your hands with your neighbors or friends or family members. Increase your immunity by intaking of more vegetables, fruits, and wish you best of luck and have a great weekend. God bless all. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, dear. So thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, there is a question in the chat box. Sir. One of the students,
What
Mr.
is
Praveen Kumar, he asking, sir, you have mentioned about various types of concrete and cement. In sustainability perception, only PPC and geopolymer seems to be supplementary for conventional concrete. This means, are we going to face a crucial resource shortage soon in our field?
Sir, always we always practicing ourselves with a many variety of concrete. See, once there was we used to practice the preparation of concrete only using the river sand, natural sand. Now we have started using the mechanical sand from. Okay, now there is a huge demand for the mechanical sand also. The same way, there will be always an alternative will be developed, and the only point is you can, already whatever we have discussed in this journey of today's session is already existing. It is already using at various site location depending upon the environmental condition, depending on today's session is already existing. It is already using at various site location depending upon the environmental condition, depending upon the type of component, and depending upon the cost also, and depending upon the type of curing also. The only point is, since now we are habituated using with the regular cement concrete for faster and speedy construction activity, we have not widely follow following the usage of the other types, even though they have a greater benefits in terms of durability, in terms of workability, in terms of strength. But slowly and slowly, definitely in the upcoming days, these high performance concrete, not high strength, high performance concrete will play a vital role in the upcoming industrial construction industry. You please make a note of it. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
But even there is a circular when your project is within a radius of 100 kilometer highway projects, you have to procure the fly ash from the nearby power stations, and you have to use as an alternative replacement for the concrete. That's why even I said even in our highway projects, we have used the slag, because when our highway projects are very close to the iron ore industry, particularly in the state of Orissa, the highway project will be running on either side of the highway project. You will be having iron ore industries. So the wastage slags, they will be dumped in huge piles, and sometimes the industry will be giving at free of cost, because their area has to be cleaned. Stocking of huge quantum of wastage, no use. So that has been widely used as an alternative or replacement in highway development, as well as the concrete road pavement development, and even the backfilling of earth also it has been widely used, fly ash. But there are some certain guidelines which has to be strictly enforced outside. Just like that, you cannot use. Okay, sir. So friends, this chapter unit 3, I try to cover briefly to understand the different types, the properties, what are the materials involved, and the strength parameters, and how it is different from conventional concrete also. And more detailedly, I have shared on presentation under unit 3 in our WhatsApp group also. You can refer it. You can refer also some books, so that you can get a clear picture about the variety of special concrete and how it is adding value in comparison to the ordinary concrete, the conventional concrete. Okay, friends? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time.
Yes. So high strength concrete means not, the strength should be more than 55 MPa, high strength. Okay. So when you are dealing with high strength, there are a lot of precaution measures to be maintained in the lab, even in the preparation. More caution, and the procedure has to be strictly enforced, because you have to achieve not only the strength, and also the workability, the durability, and also the tensile strength also should be achieved. Okay. So only the where you are going to use and what type of component, cost, and in the area where the structure is going to come, what type of RMC plant is available in the nearby area. All those information will help you to come up with the type of special concrete. For a small quantum of work, you cannot have a separate RMC plant. So you have to procure from the nearby RMC plant. So you have to understand what type of material they are using. Suppose you want to have some special concrete, you have to discuss with the nearby RMC plant, and you have to do some test parameters, understand the temperature of that area where it is going to be concreted, what is the time duration between from the travel time, the transportation time, and placing. It is always advised to take cubes when the RMC container comes. The container should always revolve. The time duration of placing the concrete from the drum also plays a vital role. You cannot allow the RMC truck to stand by for a longer duration. because so that's why it is always advisable to go for a mock-up trial. What is the time duration from the RMC plant to the area for one drum? How much time is consuming for pouring, pumping, and placing? Then accordingly you have to calculate and work. So planning plays a vital role in when you're dealing with the concreting. It is not that if you are described M35 in the good for concession drawing, the same will be achieved at site. There are many factors that influence the strength, the durability. During concreting, their focus will be only on workability. So they used to add the admixtures even after coming to site. That should be avoided. It is always advised to add admixtures before or during the mixing of concrete, not after coming to the site and adding. That will increase the workability, but it will have impact to the strength as well as the durability. Okay, my dear friends, the curing also plays a vital role. Curing can be done by using water stagnating, water ponding, and by wetting of jute bags or pasted over the concrete element and wet and keeping wet on the jute bags, or even by using curing compound. So curing also plays a vital role in adding value to achieve the strength, the desired structural strength, as what is being printed in the GFC drawing. You got it, my friends? So that is why when you are dealing in your laboratory casting cubes or casting, you have been doing the beam test, 2-point test or 3-point test. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir.
So you have to be very careful. The members who are all doing, suppose when you are doing in a group 5 members, you have to plan. First, you have to prepare a checklist. What is the date of cement bag? How much days old? And what is the grade of cement? Whether it is M43, M53. And first of all, you have to understand what is M43, M53. Am I right, sir? So
Yes,
you
sir.
have to ask your questions to your own. What is that M50 grade cement? What is this? What M indicates? M that numerical number indicates. All these things you have to answer. You have to prepare yourself. And when you are preparing the concrete, you have to practice. All the members in the group has to involve themselves, thinking that you are going to supervise a concreting of beam in a residential building. In similar fashion, you have to involve completely of yourself and understand the characteristics. Okay. Any other questions you can post in the WhatsApp group. So I'm always free to answer the questions in our group. Okay. And moreover, now, friends, for your kind information, we are trying to bring bamboo sticks in replacing the reinforcement. We are trying our best. It is under now in the preliminary stage. We are trying to bring replacing the reinforcements with the bamboo stick, because IS code is there 15912. If I'm not wrong, my memory is correct, is 15912. There is a code for discussing about the structural usage of bamboo. Even I can share that code in our group, so that it is only a stepping stone for you to understand that the now industries we are trying to replace the steel with the bamboo sticks. So that means when you're replacing something that what you have practiced conventionally, doesn't mean that you are compromising with reference to durability, workability, strength. There is no compromise, but At the same time, we want to reduce the cost and we want to overcome the problems that what we are facing, like corrosion. Okay, corrosion is a word, there's a term that affects most of the structures and reducing its design life period. Okay, my dear friends, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
So shall I disconnect, sir?